Hello everyone and welcome to Right Left. Today I wanted to share with you a pen that I absolutely love, and I think I've talked about it here before, but it's a pen that surprised me because I had had other experiences with this brand that I didn't really care for. But the aesthetics of the pen were lovely to me. And generally, I don't feel that way about this brand. But this one, I just thought it was beautiful. And so I tried it. And I gotta tell you, it's one of my favorite pens to write with. It's just lovely. I'll talk more about that in a minute. So this is the TWSBI Mini in the Diamond series. So it's a TWSBI Diamond Mini. And I don't know why they call it a diamond. The only thing I can think of is that it has these facets in the plastic that make it sort of sparkly and sort of reflect the light. This pen, it's called the White and Rose Gold edition. It's a very affordable pen, and I have it in a fine nib. Like all TWSBIs, it's got the little red, I think all TWSBIs have that anyways, the red cap on it. Let me just see if my other one has that. Yeah, their logo is red, so they're going to be different on every pen, but I love it on this one. It's sort of reflective silver, and then it's got like a clear resin dome on it, so it's just very pretty the way it catches the light. I adore it. All of the metal trim on this pen is rose gold. Even inside in the piston filler, it's rose gold. And the nib is rose gold. It's not really gold, it's a steel nib, but it's so, so lovely. Again, this is a fine. So a TWSBI fine is not as fine as like a sailor fine, right? It's a little bit, not quite as fine as like a Japanese fine. So this pen is tiny. It's really great to take with you because, again, it's not a terribly expensive pen. If you want more specs on the pen, I'm sure there are many places to find it. That's not what I do here. I just talk about what I love about them and how I use them, and sometimes what I don't love about them. But this pen, to me, just to have that clear barrel to show off a beautiful ink color, this beautiful, elegant barrel, I absolutely love it. There's the body of the pen. I don't know if that's called the barrel or not. I don't even know the technical terms. It doesn't matter to me at all. But this pen is so nice and compact, and yet when you post it, it becomes a really comfortable, really comfortable full-size pen, right? So I can show you, like this is here. Let me show you, for instance, this is a Sailor Compass 1911. So it's going to be a little bit longer just because of the top of the finial, but nowhere near as comfortable. This pen is very light, and so I don't feel the weight in my hand to give me that balance that this one does. This is a Pilot Kakuno, so you can see a little bit longer, right? But I find this pen a little bit too long when I post it. And again, very light. I prefer this pen unposted. So that's just to give you a size comparison of two pretty popular pens. So this pen, when I hold it in my hand, it's got a wonderful balance. It's like really light down here, and then the lid, the cap is a little bit heavy, so it sort of rests in my hand in the perfect way. Here is the TWSBI Eco. So let me show you that. So this is the difference in size. This pen is entirely too big for me. It's too clunky. I am not a fan of the TWSBI Eco. I know people love them. I do not. I do not love them at all. Posted, it's way too long. Unposted, it's just uncomfortable for me. I'm not a fan of this pen. And then I also have another TWSBI that I do really love. And that, my other one, no, where are you? My other TWSBI is the Iris, and this is also a diamond. So for some reason, I like this model, the diamond. I like the bigger one in this too, but it is nowhere near as comfortable as the smaller one for me. This one I use unposted, and so they're about the same when you post this one. Very similar. Just a little bit more on the cap. But this is just perfect for me. And it's about the same as the Eco, but I don't know why it's much more comfortable for me. I love this pen. I don't write with it a ton. But I bought this pen specifically for this ink, which I do love to use when I write letters. And that's typically when I use this pen. So this one, I'm telling you, it's just lovely. It is one of my most comfortable pens. I can write with this for a really long time. So let me just flip here. This is MD paper. And I just want to show you a writing sample with this pen. And again, this is the fine nib. It's a beautiful writer. This ink is also gorgeous. This ink is called Fox number 6, and it's by Berlin Notebook. You can only get it from Berlin Notebook. I usually put an order in with them twice a year because they make my favorite notebook for my morning pages. I'm almost always using this now. This is my second one I've gone through. I go through a lot of notebooks for morning pages. They make the BM2 Lineatura, and this paper is divine. It's got a disappearing grid. That's a subject for another day. But if you are in the market for a really amazing notebook and you don't mind ordering from overseas, I just do it a couple times a year. But the beautiful thing is both sides of the paper can be used without any bleed through at all, any ghosting or anything. It's amazing. So a couple times a year, I'll get several of those notebooks, like 4 or 5 at a time, and then if I need anything else from them. I also like their little notebooks, the regular Berlin notebooks. But anyways, so this is Fox number 6, and do you see the beautiful shading, even with a fine nib in this with this ink? And this nib is, well, it's wet for a fine. I can't explain it. Like, it's not scratchy at all. It's smooth as glass, even on the MD paper. And look, it's wet. I mean, it lays down the ink beautifully. There's a beautiful flow, right? So you get a little bit of shading even with the fine nib. And I think that's just remarkable. There really is no line variation. So here's up and down, and here's side to side. I mean, it's very minimal. Even if I do this and push down on it, I mean, it's just really minimal. This is a steel nib, right? But the writing experience is beautiful. My handwriting looks really neat when I use this pen, and I attribute that to my hand being comfortable, right? Not just the nib, because it's not an extraordinary nib. It's a steel nib. It's nice. However they do it, the ink flows through it beautifully. But my handwriting just does really well with this pen. And I can do cursive with this too quite comfortably. So really, really lovely. I can't think of any drawbacks to this pen at all. And I don't worry about it because while it's not a $25 pen, it's not much more than that depending on where you get it. And if you've got discounts or coupons or anything, you could get it for like $35, $40 probably. Um, it's not precious, right? I don't worry about it. I take it with me wherever I go. And it's just a delight to look at visually with the ink window like this. Gorgeous. I would even put shimmer ink in here if I wanted to, but I love this ink with this pen. I think it's just gorgeous together. Another one that would be beautiful with this is Ancient Copper from Diamine. If you don't want to order an ink from Germany, Ancient Copper from Diamine is very, very close to Fox number 6. But yeah, and this, when it posts, the lid screws on, so it's nice and secure. I am not someone who minds unscrewing and screwing caps, to pens. I feel it's more secure that way. It's one of my biggest complaints about Sailor pens is that the cap never feels secure when I post it. And I have had them fall off. And you don't want to push them on too tightly because the resin will crack. And this has these threads inside and then the metal right around it, so it's not going to crack and do that. It's just a delightful pen. It's easy to clean as long as you know that you're never going to get all the moisture out. That's a problem with TWSBI, so I'm not too worried about it. I keep it filled all the time, this one. Whereas and I probably should, my Eco, or just give it to someone or sell it, because you see the condensation in there? You can take these pens apart, but I've done it, and it's not great. I've heard other people say the same. Some people have really good luck doing it, and that's fine. It's just not something I want to do constantly. And I had some trouble with mine after I took it apart and put it back together. So that's user error, I'm sure, but it's just not something I want to deal with, But this pen, so if you're in the market for a TWSBI Eco Jade, let me know, and I can sell it to you. But this is, I don't know, I can't imagine me never having it without ink in it, because I use it often, quite a lot actually, and for long periods of writing. So yeah, that's it. That's the TWSBI Diamond Mini. This is the rose gold. It also comes in black with rose gold, which is also lovely, or smoke maybe. It comes in a few different colors, but this one to me is just super elegant and gorgeous, and I love it with my Midori. In this ink in particular, aesthetically, it just thrills me every time, and I just get excited to sit down and write. So I just wanted to share this with you. It's just one of those pens that I don't think gets a lot of praise or love. You don't hear about it that often, and I'm surprised at that. I did see somebody do a video about it a few weeks ago, and I can't remember who it was now. And it just reminded me, you really should do a video about this pen too, because I rarely see people talk about this. It's a delight. All right, everyone. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you again soon. Take care.